And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
classic. Time.
Hey everyone, Alex back again with a new video. Jenny, of course, in the background, again playing GTA. I came up with this idea. Granted, I think Dylan from Noble Records did this as well, but hey, that's okay.
Sorry.
As you can tell from the title, this is my best finds of 2020. So, in this video, it's stuff that I've found out in the wild. I'm only including stuff I found out in the wild. So, things that have been gifted to me, things that I've bought online, either during lockdown, quarantine, or whatever. Not included in this list. Freebies from work, not being included. This is only stuff that I have found out in the wild. On my own, on searches and stuff like that. So we'll get straight to it, because I do have a lot to show. Granted, this is only a very small selection, because this year I added 275 records to my collection. That's albums, 12-inch singles and 7-inch singles, all included. 275 records to my collection. Wow. I didn't think it was that many. I knew it was a lot, but I didn't think it was that many. So, these are in no particular order here, but obviously I'm going to maybe show them in some kind of order. But let's get straight into it. Starting things off, Sting, 10 Summer's Tale. Blown away when I found this at a great price. You don't see the Sting's 90s solo stuff a whole lot, and of course with this being my favourite Sting album from 1993, I had to pick this up. Very nice stuff on this album. Great find there. Absolutely love that album from Sting. Had to grab that one. Amy Winehouse, Lioness, Hidden Treasures, an original press of this album. Maybe not a great find to some of you guys, but to me, this is my favourite Amy Winehouse album. It's got my favourite Amy Winehouse song on it, which is Like Smoke, which features Nas. And yeah, just an absolutely incredible find there. Like I said, an original press. Love that. Some funk here. There's a mixture of everything here, from funk to hip hop to everything. BT Express, Do It Till You're Satisfied. Obviously a fantastic album from them. I want to say the album that made them famous, from 1974. Brilliant album there. Mandre, another great funk, sort of disco type of group. Dr. Dre famously sampled them. Oh, and the last band I showed you. Yeah, Mandre. Their self-titled album from 1977. That was a fantastic find on Motown. Crusaders, Street Life. Again, you guys might see this all the time, but to me, you never see it. You see the 12 occasionally see the 7-inch for Street Life, but never ever see the album. And this was one I'd been looking for religiously for about 4 years until I found this. So happy to have that. Donald Fagen, The Night Fly. This was a fantastic find. Again, one you might see all the time. One I used to see all the time, and then it just vanished off the face of the earth, and all of a sudden a copy came through my hands, so I couldn't leave it behind. From 1982, original. I think this is an American press, if I'm not mistaken. No, it is. It's UK press, but still a great album nonetheless. Erykah Badu, Baduism. I wish this was an original. It isn't. It is a reissue, but again, not an online find. Found this at a great price when I was out one day, so I had to grab it. And again, you just don't see Erykah Badu stuff, particularly this album. It's been her most famous album. I do love Erykah Badu's music quite a bit. So when I found this, fantastic. Blown away. Neo soul, sort of hip hop and soul merged. If you're not aware of what neo soul is, but fantastic find there. Some 80s hip hop. 80s hip hop was one era of hip hop that I didn't have a lot of in my collection. I was just lacking a lot of it, and so I needed to grab some more, and luckily I found originals of 2 albums that I had been hunting for a while. Paid in Full, Eric B. Rakim. Great find here for 2020. And I've only just realised that the back cover, when in the foil, has sort of a metallic, so that the actual gold on the back has a sort of metallic look to it. When you get it in certain lighting, very good album there. Obviously, originally from 1987, but you don't see originals of this. It's been reissued a couple of times recently, but it's all about the original of this, with songs like Paid in Full, I Know You Got Soul, Move the Crowd, Eric B. is President, you know, just a killer 80s hip hop album. As is the next one I'm going to show you, Young MC's Stone Cold Rhyming. I showed this, it's got Bust a Move on it, which was his big song. Know How is on here as well, and that's the song that's on Baby Driver. I know when I showed it before I talked about Bust a Move. That is not the song on Baby Driver, it is in fact Know How, with also has the Shaft sample on it. This is an American pressing on Ireland from 1989. Brilliant album, absolutely love this album. Killer stuff, you know. It's Young MC, you don't see this album at all ever, so happy to grab that. So you guys know, like every year, I set myself a goal for my collection, like a certain genre that I want to pick up throughout the year, and this year it was soundtracks. I wanted to add a few more soundtracks to my collection, the soundtracks that I was missing, and maybe a few more classic soundtracks that I didn't have yet. And I definitely did a good job of adding some more soundtracks to the collection. But I definitely am happy with what I got. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Talked about this a couple videos ago. This was a fantastic find. Obviously as well, we lost Ennio Morricone earlier on in 2020. So to find this at the end of 2020, I thought that was nearly impossible, considering that he died earlier on in the year. But absolutely incredible soundtrack. One of my all-time favourite Western film, actually. The movie that got me into Westerns and stuff. So yeah, cannot take this film away from anything. Absolutely incredible. Love the soundtrack as well. Just brilliant. That was a great find there. The soundtrack to Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Movie was not that great, but the soundtrack's incredible. I love Hans Zimmer's scores. I think they're all incredible. This is the deluxe edition, so it's 3 LPs and a trifold. It contains 90 minutes of music, exclusive full-size poster, liner notes, a digital download, and a custom etched LP art on side F. And also, one of the discs is on blue vinyl, one of them's on red, and one of them is on black. Incredible. I have a soft spot for this film, really, because I really wanted to see it and I actually enjoy the film. I prefer the 3-hour version of the movie just because there's stuff in there that's left out of the cinematic version, but this score is really good. I've been looking for a copy of this for a while and one finally came through. And for those keeping score at home, it's number 1439. Out of however many requests it is, I don't know, but It doesn't, oh, 5,000, so not bad, not bad. But finally have that one. Nightcrawler soundtrack on cherry coke coloured vinyl. Incredible stuff. Really enjoyed this movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. He's my favourite actor, so of course anything with him in, I'll check it out. Really enjoyed this film when I saw it, and so I had to grab this soundtrack. Love the film, love the soundtrack, just brilliant. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This may not be special to most regular viewers, because obviously it's Star Wars, but to me this is fantastic. My favourite of all the modern Star Wars films. And this is the one with the holographic TIE Fighter and Millennium Falcon that pops up when it's spinning on the turntable. Buzzing when I found this copy of this, especially as you see regular versions of this like all the time, but the one I was specifically looking for was the one with the holograms, and I finally found it. So incredible find there, absolutely ecstatic about that one. Loved Star Wars: The Force Awakens, brilliant stuff. And another soundtrack here, Halo 5 Guardians. I said it when I showed it, I don't normally do video game soundtracks, but Halo is my favourite gaming franchise, and so I had to pick up this soundtrack when I saw it as well. The rest of them are all really expensive, so I don't know if I'll ever find them unless they get reissued, but this was a fantastic find for a soundtrack. Love the Halo games, so obviously I grabbed that one. Last soundtrack that I happily grabbed was Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye. An original US pressing. Great find for this one. Absolutely love this album from Marvin Gaye. I think it's an incredible soundtrack. Great. I think it's a good film. Just adore this movie. Well, love the soundtrack again. And it's even referenced in Captain America: The Winter Soldier as well. So brilliant soundtrack. Absolutely love it. An original. Blown away by this when I found it. Could not believe my luck. Yeah, they're the soundtracks that I found in 2020. For those who aren't aware already, my goal for 2021 is to pick up more reggae, because not only is that my smallest section in my collection, despite picking up 275 albums, or well, records last year, about 7 of them were reggae. So I want to definitely make sure I get more reggae. One more thing I definitely wanted to add to this year was my Stevie Wonder collection. And while I found a couple of things, I did have to find a couple of things online. I did manage to get a couple of things come through my hands that I never knew existed. Stevie Wonder, Greatest Hits. This is a Bulgarian compilation. Covers his later stuff from Overjoyed, Boogie on Reggae Woman, I Just Called to Say I Love You, Love Light in Flight, which is easily my favourite song on the Woman in Red soundtrack, Go Home. Yeah, fantastic Stevie Greatest Hits there. Really loved it when I got this one. And yeah, it's weird, these Bulgarian pressings, because the covers are not as well made. They're very flimsy and don't have that glossy finish that our album covers had. And they're vinyl. The vinyls are heavier than the jacket, which is don't see that often. But yeah, Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits, the Bulgarian pressing, and then I found this Russian compilation called Sunshine of My Life from 1988. They're both from about 88 sort of periods, but this one, I probably prefer this one just because it's got I Was Made to Love Her, My Cherie Amour, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, Superstition, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, A Place in the Sun, I'm wondering. Just a fantastic compilation, Russian. So yeah, two sort of, well, to me, they're foreign compilations there of Stevie for the Stevie collection. And yeah, just super stoked to have both of them for the Stevie Wonder collection. I'll get to a couple of jazz albums, and then I'll probably get to my grail of the year. I guess technically my greatest find of the year, which I'm going to save till last. You guys would have seen all of these in previous videos, but obviously this is just a recap of everything all in one video. Couple of jazz finds here. Blue and Sentimental by Aquabec. Talked about it in my last video, which was the vinyl tag for 2021. This was a new discovery for me. Aquabec, never heard of him, literally grabbed it because it was Blue Note, and I was blown away by this. I listened to it 3 times that night when I found this. It was crazy. But yeah, incredible stuff. I won't go into too much detail because, like I said, I talked about it in my last video in detail. But of course, this is a 1986 reissue of his album that came out in the 60s. Don't know when about exactly it came out. I don't remember, but I know it's a Blue Note reissue of some sort. Let me see if I can find it here. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. But yeah, Aquabec, Blue and Sentimental, that is my favourite jazz, well, one of my favourite jazz finds this year because, again, my jazz section was lacking a little bit. I was mainly focusing on soundtracks, but probably did pick up more jazz than soundtracks this year. But yeah, Blue and Sentimental, Aquabec, fantastic jazz album. Talked about it a lot this year already, probably going to talk about it a lot more in the future. And then Bitches Brew by Miles Davis. I've been looking for a copy of this for so long and finally grabbed one. Original press, well, I say original, it's probably an early reissue of the album. But I was so happy when this came, when I had it in my hands. I was like, I'm not passing this up again, because I passed it up once before, but only because it was out of budget. But now that it was in budget, I wasn't passing it up. So yeah, my favourite Miles Davis album. I would go as far as to say this is my second favourite jazz album of all time. You all know the story of this album. Miles got a bunch of musicians together, gave them a key to play in, and they just played in that key, and they recorded and recorded for a very long time. There's even loads of stuff that didn't make. There's about 200 or so songs that they recorded. I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, that they recorded, and 6 made the album. So you know that if that's the best tracks that they've done, what else is there that they recorded that didn't make the album? But I was blown away by this. Had to. Absolutely fantastic. And I remember when I grabbed it as well, because I was going to grab the Sessions when it came out on Record Store Day. But because of when I grabbed it, I think I grabbed it about literally 5 days before, didn't end up grabbing it, just grabbed this instead, and love this. Like I said, my second favourite jazz album of all time. So that was obviously not being left behind for about the second time I think I've seen it out in the wild. Okay, my favourite find of 2020, and I didn't plan it, but I'm also wearing the top of this band, and that is the Kooks. But this is Let's Go Sunshine, signed by all 4 band members on the Indie White Vinyl exclusive. This album, I mean, everything from the Kooks. I can't think of a bad Kooks album off the top of my head. Can you?
No.
Kooks have been one of my favourite bands, and yet I've never picked up anything from them on vinyl. And when I saw this signed copy of their album, I knew there and then that it was destiny for me to have this. Fantastic album, fantastic band, and the fact that it's signed does make this probably my best find of the year. And I have not been able to get over being able to get this because it's crazy. It's one of my favourite bands. I believe it's one of my fiance's favourite bands. So, of course, now that I have this, now I'm going to have to get more Kooks on vinyl.
Influenced by my brothers and my sister, though.
Now that I've got one album from the Kooks, I'm going to have to get more. But this album's absolutely incredible. Great album. So yeah, that is it. That's my best finds of 2020. Thanks so much for tuning into the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, these are my personal takes of what I think are my best finds of 2020. Everyone's going to be different because we don't all find the same stuff in 2020. Or ever, really. Everyone's different. And so, next year, like I said, my goal is to budget myself a bit more, a bit better. Not pick up 275 records in the space of 12 months. That's crazy.
I wouldn't say it's ridiculous or crazy because there are people out there that would have picked up a lot more.
Yeah.
But for the budget that you had, that's pretty nuts.
That is pretty nuts considering my budget wasn't that good this year. Because I obviously had other stuff going on, and my budget next year is going to be even less. So hopefully I can make it work a bit better with the budget. Like I said, I want to pick up more reggae. I want to try and add to my Eminem collection a bit more this year. I know I did that last year as well with a few more albums. But I really want to focus on that and getting my Stevie Wonder collection filled in a bit more as well this year. As well as obviously reggae and budgeting myself. So with that, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You guys are probably sick of hearing my voice by now. So I'm going to tune out.
I'll see you again very, very soon.
Like this video. If not for the records, for my fiance's perfect impression of me. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys again
Very, very soon.
very soon. Bye.